Hello, and thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Katy Crossan, publisher at Edward Elgar, and I'm joined by Editor-in-Chief of our exciting new major work, the Encyclopedia of Tourism Management and Marketing, Professor Dimitrios Buhalis. Dimitrios, welcome.
Hello, Katy.
Editing a project of this magnitude by yourself is a huge undertaking and must have given you an unparalleled view into current contemporary scholarship in tourism management and marketing. Bearing that in mind, how would you define the field of tourism research at the moment and its role in the contemporary world?
I think given the situation we are facing with COVID, and given that everybody has just realized how important tourism is, it has become very, very obvious to individuals who would like to travel and they have not been traveling for a while, how important tourism is, and also the governments around the world, because they've realized how important tourism is for their economic sustainability and also for sustaining their communities around the world. And I think the encyclopedia brought into life all the tools and all the knowledge and research that we have all these years, and now it's much more important than ever before to bring forward and to support communities to actually take advantage of the knowledge and the expertise to ensure that we can engage again in the tourism activity and develop our prosperity, and also to look after the consumers in the future in the way that they would like to be looked after.
Thank you. The encyclopedia, I should have said at the start, is a huge work with up to 1,000 entries. Given the size and the scope, it's still ongoing at the moment, but up to this point, what would you say was the most interesting or surprising thing that you've learned while you've been editing the book?
I think when your colleague Daniel approached me and we started doing that, I don't think we ever realized how big this is going to become. And I said that from the beginning, we need to have a very different way of doing the Encyclopedia of Tourism Management and Marketing, because we should really bring and harness all the knowledge that's out there. So we went crowdsourcing for terms, we went crowdsourcing for individuals and contributors. We went to look into every corner of the earth. And that brought a lot of surprises to me, because up to about 6 months ago, I thought I've heard everything about tourism. Now I've heard so many new things and so many new techniques, and I'm really, really surprised. I'm also very pleased to have the talent that we had from around the world in supporting this project and actually bring their knowledge and their expertise. And you've got people from all the way from Brazil to Bali and Australia and New Zealand and wherever, that they are bring their own perspective and their cultural interpretation of some things, and also how different consumers and different markets are dealing with those things. It's unparalleled. I don't think anybody will ever be able to do something like that before, and will be very difficult to do in the future.
Yes, no, it is a huge achievement, and we're very excited about it here at Elgar. When you were initiating and developing the book project, you brought together a very large ontology of different terms within tourism. As you just mentioned, you were aiming for the book to be as inclusive as possible. And this ontology has guided the development. Looking at that, what would you say were the key themes that emerged? I guess the sort of main challenges and themes in contemporary tourism research.
Yeah, I think the ontology is reaching about 3,000 items, which is I have never seen anything like that in the past, and I think it includes everything that has got to do with tourism. I think if you're trying to kind of look into the trends and what's coming out, you'll see on the one side you've got the demand side and the consumers and how the decision making is happening, how consumers are moving, and how technology is changing the way that consumers are actually consuming tourism, and of course, what kind of impacts consumption of tourism activities and co-creation of experience has got on tourism. on tourists. And I think the other thing that is becoming very evident is all kind of special interests of tourism, because tourism is becoming much more meaningful and people are doing all kind of different kind of things. So you've got entries from diving and trekking and all kind of special activities that people would love to go and do rather than mainstream tourism. And I think that is one thing. On the other side, when you're looking into the industry, you look into all the management, the marketing techniques that you've got, the distribution, the marketing, the management, the branding, all those kind of elements that we are developing to manage the tourist business, and how the private sector needs to take advantage of all these developments in order to manage the business in the future and become successful and competitive. And then you've got another line, which is the public sector kind of planning element, where you've got all the sustainability, you've got all the indicators, you've got all these planning techniques that we need to do in order to do tourism well, and in order to bring everybody together in this industry and co-create value for everybody. So there you find all these techniques that we are developing, like the current capacity, and you've got people who are talking about over tourism, which I don't believe in, but never mind, about how destinations need to develop. But I think one of the key messages that's coming out of the encyclopedia, and I spent a lot of time developing the preface, and in fact we started as a preface and ended up being a statement, and the statement makes a very clear statement that we've never seen this before, and the statement says that tourism is inevitable. So up to now, a lot of destinations, they were thinking, yeah, I can do tourism or not do tourism. Tourism is inevitable and it's going to happen everywhere. And we've seen countries like Saudi Arabia moving into tourism, that we never thought that Saudi Arabia is going to move into tourism. Having said that, we also established that tourism needs to be done properly in order to bring benefits to the consumers and also to the communities. And we need to do tourism with consumers rather than for consumers. And we need to do tourism with communities rather than for communities. And these are substantial and very, very different kind of areas that we need to look at. And what I've done in the statement is I created a pyramid, and on the top of the pyramid you've got the tourism system that is sitting, because we really need to understand what kind of infrastructure, and what kind of planning, legislation, and management frameworks we need to put into place before we do tourism. And I think these are the key themes that they are going through the entire encyclopedia.
No, thank you. And I should say, the editorial statement and introduction that you just mentioned will be available, open access, so freely available on our Elgar Online platform, so elgaronline.com, and that should be going live the week of the 15th of March. 2021. So please do.
I'm looking forward to that. You cannot imagine how I'm looking forward to have. At least we'll have the first batch with people that have met the first deadline, and then we'll have the opportunity to develop a little bit more.
Yes, that's exactly right. We're releasing it in batches and stages throughout this year. But as I say, that first set, along with your editorial statement, will be the week of the 15th of March. So do. And
then the full thing will be beginning of 2022, right? That's what
yes,
we're working on.
That should be the full version, and the printed edition should be available in early 2022. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing it, holding a copy in my hand, and as you can see, we have the cover all ready to go behind Dimitrios, that beautiful scene from Greece.
Yes, it's the temple of Apollo in Naxos Island in Greece, because Apollo symbolizes a whole range of things. And we spent quite a lot of time with your colleagues developing the two covers, and we had two covers, and then we asked people to vote for it. And I think most people voted for this cover. And I'm very pleased that they did, because actually Apollo is the god of wisdom, and it brings a whole range of parallels to what the encyclopedia is bringing forward.
Yes. Excellent. Well, we're very much looking forward to it. And finally, I would just like to say thank you so much for all your work, because I started off by saying this really is a huge undertaking. And we really appreciate all the work that you've done, and very much looking forward to seeing the final product.
Let me say that there are some good things about COVID and the lockdowns, because you all of a sudden you have the time, because I'm not traveling so much, and that became a project of love, where I could put all the energy and bring a lot of colleagues from around the world forward. And I think this is what this encyclopedia is going to have a major advantage on, that a lot of people will feel that they're part of this and they've actively contributed in building it up. And I'm very grateful for the support that I've received from everybody. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for listening. And as I say, do check it out, elgaronline.com from the 15th of March. Dimitrios, thank you very much for your time today, and for this insight into the encyclopedia.
That's fantastic. Look forward to see the online version of it, and then the full thing very soon.
Yeah. Thank you.